Okay guys, next one that we are gonna talk about is our kettlebell snatch. So this is gonna be somewhat similar to our dumbbell snatch. So not gonna be a whole lot of brand new stuff to go over here. Karina is gonna start with her feet hip width or maybe just a little bit wider, just like she is right now. She's gonna bend over and put her hand on that kettlebell. Okay, from here, okay, back is nice and flat, shoulders are engaged, hamstrings are engaged. First thing that she's gonna give y'all is just a high pull with this kettlebell. So she's gonna stand up, butt and hips are gonna rise at the same time. She's gonna squeeze her glutes to get full hip extension, and she's gonna drive that kettlebell up to her collarbone. Go ahead and show them 3. Good, so notice how she's squeezing those glutes to get some momentum on that dumbbell, so she's not just relying on her arm to pull that kettlebell up. Next part that she is gonna show you guys is the full kettlebell snatch. So the first half of this movement is gonna be exactly the same as what she just did. She's gonna do this high pull, okay? Drive the elbow nice and high. Then she is going to turn that kettlebell over and punch overhead. I want y'all to watch when she turns the kettlebell over because it is going to be smooth so that kettlebell doesn't slam into her wrist. Go ahead and show them 3 snatches. Good. Big hip extension, drive the elbow up, turn her kettlebell and punch. Good. So typically in a workout, guys, we are gonna see these alternating, just like with our dumbbell snatches. So I'm gonna have her show y'all 4 alternating kettlebell snatch so you can see what that looks like. Good, it's the same thing on both sides. We're getting this full hip extension every time, so we drive that kettlebell up, firm punch overhead. I guess I'm gonna have her do one more and hold that kettlebell overhead for a second. We're gonna talk about her finish positions. Go ahead and get that kettlebell up. Okay, things that I want y'all to notice here is how close this bicep is to her ear. We wanna see this bicep almost touching your ear. That makes sure that we are keeping this kettlebell perfectly stacked way over our body, okay? No kettlebells way out here, no kettlebells out in front of us, stacked in a nice straight line, just like Karina is doing. One more thing that I want to note before I let her set this kettlebell down is that her rib cage is tucked, right? She's not arching her back and leaning, okay? We don't want to see that. She's going to squeeze her core, keep the rib cage tucked. All right, go ahead and set it down. All right, next part that we are going to talk about is our hang kettlebell snatch. So it's going to be pretty similar to what we just did, except this time this kettlebell is starting off the ground. So she's going to pick that kettlebell up, let it come right between her legs. All right, so she's gonna get a little dip just like she just did. It's gonna be really similar to when we dip with our barbell. From here, she's going to squeeze the butt, drive that kettlebell up and punch overhead. All right, when she brings it back down, she's coming right back to that same position at her hips. So go ahead and bring it down and show them a couple more. Beautiful, all right, go ahead and set that down. Good, so every time she was returning right back to her hips, squeezing that butt to get extension, punching overhead when she finished. All right, next movement, guys, is our kettlebell hang clean. So Karina is going to start with her feet just outside her hips, toes turned out just slightly. She's gonna go ahead and pick that kettlebell up. All right, for these hang movements, guys, it's really important that you pick your dumbbell or kettlebell up and stop completely at your hips before we actually go into the movement. So with her kettlebell here in her hip, she's gonna give a little dip. Hips are gonna go back, knees are gonna go out. Good. Her chest mostly stays nice and tall, right? When we dip, she's not bending all the way over like this, okay? Keeping that chest up, keeping the knees out. From here, she's gonna squeeze that butt, drive that kettlebell up, and then she's going to turn and finish with that kettlebell resting on her shoulder. Good. So when she pulls that kettlebell up, it's gonna stay nice and close to her body. When she finishes, her elbow is high and this kettlebell is resting on her shoulder. What we don't wanna see finishing these hang cleans is our elbow down in front of us. Okay, kettlebell resting on our arm. Make sure we end elbow up, kettlebell resting nice and secure on your shoulder. All right, go ahead and show them 3 full speed. Okay. Dip, drive with the hips, kettlebell stays close and finishes on the shoulder. Good. When you switch hands on these guys, you can either set it down on the ground to switch or you can switch in the air. Just again, if you do switch on the ground, make sure you stand up all the way and pause at your hips before going into your full movement.